Welcome back to the channel. What is going on with the goings on? Well, I have an update in reference to the Julio Foolio case. And yes, this is a good update with receipts. So let's get straight into it. Between June the 21st and June the 23rd, 2024, Isaiah Chance, Elisa Andrews, and Sean Gathright, and Devon Murphy, and fired to commit the first-degree premeditated murder of Charles Jones, also known as Julio Foolio. All 5 suspects traveled from Jacksonville, Tampa on June the 22nd, 2024 in 2 separate vehicles to locate and kill Jones in retaliation for an ongoing Jacksonville rival gang feud. On June the 23rd, 2024, Isaiah Chance and Elisa Andrews tracked and followed the victim and his entourage to 2 separate locations. At each location, they got out of their vehicle and Chance used a cell phone. After the cell phone communications, a second suspect vehicle arrived at each location. Both vehicles then followed the victims and his entourage to the Home 2 Suites located at 11606 McKinley Drive, where the homicide occurred. At Home 2 Suites, one vehicle drove by the victim's parked vehicle twice and left. Then 3 armed shooters exit a vehicle and begin shooting at the victim's vehicle, killing Charles Jones and injuring 3 additional victims based on the investigation. The 3 shooters were identified as Rashad Murphy, Sean Gathright, and Devon Murphy. Charles Jones is documented by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to be a 6-block gang member in Jacksonville. The 6-block gang has a feud with 2 other alleged street gangs known as ATK and 1200. Isaiah Chance is a documented ATK member. Rashad Murphy is a documented 1200 gang member. And Devon Murphy is a documented 1200 gang between Charles Jones' 6-block gang and 2 rival gangs, ATK and 1200. Together, Isaiah Chance is a documented ATK gang member, and Rashad Murphy and Devon Murphy are documented 1200 gang members. The feud between 6-block and its rival gangs, ATK and 1200, over a decade with dozens of murders by and against both sides. It was apparent the suspects worked together, acting in coherent to actively hunt and ultimately kill Charles Jones as a part of this gang feud. Now, for the information we were not told and that was not announced, Sean Gathright was stopped in an SUV for speeding and dark tint windows. At that stop, he had in the back seat disassembled gun parts, 2 cell phones, a laptop computer, a Glock in the console as well, and some mushrooms. This happened June the 27th, a few days after Julio Foolio's death. June the 27th, that evening, a search warrant was gotten by the police and they served it on the 28th to Isaiah and Elisa's spot. Receipts to follow. Let's get it. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and comment below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, let's get into Sean Gathright. Here's his booking information, and it is for June the 27th. His wasn't a misdemeanor, it was a felony. It says armed possession, use or armed possession with intent to use drugs, window behind driver and proper rear window tint. Now let's get into what was said. Additional information. On June the 26th, keep in mind, he was the first one arrested a couple of days after Foolio. On June the 26th, I was in the area of near New Berlin Road and Dunn Creek Road when, redacted, and I observed a gold SUV traveling at a high rate of speed. I also observed that the windows on the SUV had dark tinted. I activated my emergency lights on my unmarked patrol car and conducted a traffic stop at the corner of New Berlin Road and Sap Road. The vehicle slowed road at first and then came to a complete stop. I exited my patrol car and redacted, and I contacted the driver, who identified himself as Sean Gathright via Mississippi driver's license. Sean handed, redacted, his driver's license while I stayed and spoke with him. During the conversation, I could smell an odor of marijuana from the vehicle. I asked Sean if he had smoked marijuana or had possession of any marijuana. Sean responded by saying no. I then asked Sean to step out of the vehicle, in which he complied. Sean was placed at the back of his vehicle while I conducted a search of the vehicle. Inside the vehicle, detectives located a small bag, and inside the bag was a small container that had marijuana residue. Also inside the bag was a plastic bag with mushrooms. I then located a black Glock handgun inside the center console. It should be noted that Sean is not allowed to possess a handgun due to his age. In the rear seats of the vehicle, there were several bags of ammunition, along with several firearm parts and accessories. Sean immediately denied ownership of the firearms that was inside the vehicle. The items inside the car were collected along with 2 cell phones and a MacBook laptop. The items were collected by a crime scene detective on scene. Let's go down. Sean was then placed in the back seat of a marked patrol unit and transported to CGIC office for an interview. On June 27, 2024, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office received actionable intelligence in reference to a conspiracy to commit murder. Based on the intelligence obtained about the conspiracy to commit murder, a search warrant was obtained. The search warrant was executed on Bluff Road. Detectives arrived on scene on Bluff Road in marked and unmarked police vehicles to execute a search warrant. Detectives have their emergency equipment activated when they attempted to contact the occupants of the house. Detectives were dressed in black tactic vest with a police marking. Detectives were dressed in black tactic vests with police markings on the front and back, along with agency's assignments. Prior to executing the search warrant, detectives had intelligence that Isaiah Chance Jr., a female, and a baby were inside the house. Once on scene with the house surrounded, detectives began to give loud verbal commands over the PA system. Equipped inside a marked police car, detectives advised the occupants that they were or the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. We have the place surrounded. That we have a search warrant for the residence and we are not leaving. Detectives also instructed the occupants to exit through the front door with nothing in their hands and to have their hands visible when exiting. Detectives gave these commands for approximately 15 to 20 minutes before the known occupants chance exit the residence. Detectives in the rear of the residence advised they could clearly hear the loud verbal commands coming from the PA system that was positioned in the front. Once the occupants exit the residence, a protective sweep was conducted and the search warrant were executed. And the findings of the search warrant will be documented in another report. Chance is being charged with resisting officers without violence due to the extensive amount of time he spent ignoring lawful commands to exit the residence. Okay, we have Alicia Andrews, who was arrested June the 27th for a misdemeanor. And this is the action that happened when she was arrested. It was the same as Chance Drew, but we will go through it. On June the 27th, 2024, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office received actionable intelligence in reference to conspiracy to commit murder. Based on the intelligence obtained about the conspiracy to commit murder, a search warrant was obtained. The search warrant was executed on Buff Road. Detectives arrived on the scene at Buff Road in marked and unmarked police vehicles to execute a search warrant. Detectives had their emergency equipment activated when they attempted to contact the occupants of the house. Detectives were dressed in black tacked vests with police markings on the front and back, along with agencies in sight. Prior to executing the search warrant, detectives had intelligence that Isaiah Chance Jr., an unknown female, and baby were inside the house. Once on the scene with the house surrounded, detectives began to give loud verbal commands over the PA system. Equipped inside a marked police car, detectives advised the occupants that we are the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. We have the place surrounded. That we have a search warrant for the residents and we are not leaving. Detectives also instructed the occupants to exit through the front door with nothing in their hands and to have their hands visible when exiting. Detectives gave these commands for approximately 15 to 20 minutes before the occupants exited the residence. Detectives in the rear of the residence advised that they could clearly hear the loud verbal commands coming from the PA system that was positioned in front. Once the occupants exit the residence, a protective sweep was conducted and the search warrant was executed. The findings of the search warrant will be documented in another report. Andrew was identified as an adult inside the residence. Andrews ignored the lawful command of law enforcement to exit the residence for a period of 15 to 20 minutes. The arrest warrant was verified by the JSO Records and ID Unit. And that is it on this one. Yep. Okay, we have Rashad Murphy. There's nothing but a misdemeanor traffic. This is just a traffic violation for no driver's license. That's it. He goes to court went to court rather. Nothing else. Nothing said. To sum everything up, Sean went to jail June 27th, a few days after Julio Foolio's murder. He was released with an ankle monitor. Then the raids happened the next day. Isaiah went to jail. Alicia went to jail. Isaiah was released with the ankle monitor. Alicia set up payment plans to get released. 3 weeks later, they back in jail. Let me know your thoughts and thank you.